Hey guys, Shot here. In this video, we're going to talk about where to code or where to put code when you're making AI. This series is part of a whole series about how to make AI, how AI works, and how AI works under the hood, or pretty much what makes up AI, how do the brains work and all that stuff, right? This is what this series is about. So this is video number 2 in that series. So please watch my first video and video 0 to help you understand what's going on in this series. Cool. So let's just get started on these guys explaining. So pretty much, I'm gonna show you 4 different ways or 4 different places on your computer where you can code AI stuff, essentially.
Without further ado, let's jump on my screen. I'm going to show you how to install Jupyter Notebooks. All right, so let's get started by downloading Anaconda. Anaconda is an open.
So Jupyter Notebook is the first one I'm going to show you guys. Jupyter Notebook is if you want to program things on your computer, but you need to have storage, right? You need to have computer storage. As a matter of fact, let me just show you guys real quick how to do that. So if you have Windows, man, how do I show you guys this? Go to File Explorer on Windows. If you have Mac, open it on Mac. Then you want to go to this PC and look how much storage you have free, right? And that lets you know how much storage you have. Now, if you want to know what kind of chip you have, I believe it's called Device Manager. Device Manager. And you got to go to Display Adapters. This tells you the kind of GPU that you have, okay? So the GPU I have is a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Super on this computer. My other one was stronger. It broke, but I'm using this for now. But yes, so this lets you know the kind of GPU you have. Now, I'll just look up like how much VRAM is in this. So let me copy and paste this name if that's even possible. No, it's not possible. I'm going to screenshot it. So really quick, let me just open up ChatGPT and ask it how much VRAM is in this. So I paste that picture in there and I ask how much VRAM is in this. You need to know this, right? 6 gigabytes of VRAM. So okay, so I have 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Cool. So once you know how much VRAM you have, now you know which one of these things you can use. So for Anaconda, you need storage on your PC, enough storage. When you're downloading it, it'll let you know if you have enough storage or not, all right? Keep that in mind. So if you don't have storage on your PC, and if you have a weak GPU like mine, like this PC has a weak GPU, right? If your GPU is less than the 3000 series of NVIDIA, I would say you probably don't want to train AI models on your PC. If you do, it's going to take a really, really, really long time, okay? Unless you're doing text stuff. If you're training text models, you're actually okay to use whatever GPU you have. If you're training image models, anything video, or any other complex models, it's probably not recommended to use your GPU. But if it's text, you should be fine training on your GPUs on a local PC if you have the same GPU I have or even weaker. Well, pretty much any GPU should be fine for text training. Cool, but that's pretty much that.
Open source distribution of Python and R products. So within Anaconda, I'm going to show you how to install Jupyter Notebooks. All right, so let's get started by downloading Anaconda. Anaconda is an open source distribution of Python and R products. So within Anaconda is our Jupyter Notebooks, as well as a lot of other things, but we're going to be using it for our Jupyter Notebooks. So let's go right down here. And if I hit download, it's going to download for me because I'm on Windows. But if you want additional installers, if you're running on Mac or Linux, then you can get those all right here. Now, if you are running on Windows, just make sure to check your system to see if it's a 32-bit or a 64. You can go into your About and your system settings to find that information. I'm going to click on this 64-bit. It's going to pop up on my screen right here, and I'm going to click Save. Now it's going to start downloading it. It says it could take a little while, but honestly, it's going to take probably about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll get going. Now that it's done, I'm just going to click on it, and it's going to pull up this window right here. We are just going to click Next because we want to install it. This is our license agreement. You can read through this if you would like. I will not. I'm just going to click I agree. Now we can select our installation type, and you can either select it for just me, or if you have multiple admin or users on one laptop, you can do that as well. For me, it's just me.
Now, before I let it continue, I'm just letting you guys know I know I probably should have said this sooner, but you don't have to download Jupyter Notebook. There's four. I'm showing you 4 different ways that you can program on your computer. This is just one of the 4 ways. So if you like Jupyter Notebook, then download it, follow through with this thing. But at least watch watch the whole video so you know all 4 methods, and then choose which one fits what you're looking for. Okay. But Jupyter Notebook is not a bad one to have if you're a beginner in Python, if you're a beginner in using AI itself.
Me, so I'm going to use this one as it recommends. Now it's going to show you where it's installing it on your computer. This is the actual file path. It's going to take about 3.5 gigs of space. I have plenty of space, but make sure you have enough space. And then once you do, you can come right over here to next. And now we can do some advanced options. We can add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variable. And when you're using Python, you typically have a default path with whatever Python IDE or notebook that you're using. I use a lot of Visual Studio Code, so if I do this, I'm worried it might mess something up, so I am not going to do this. It also says it doesn't recommend it. Again, messing with these paths is kind of something that you might want to do once you know more about Python, so I don't really recommend you having this checked. We can also register Anaconda 3 as my default Python 3.9. You can do this one, and I'm going to keep it this way just so I have the exact same settings as you do. So let's go ahead and click install. And now it is going to actually install this on your computer. Now, once that's complete, we can hit next. And now we're going to hit next again. And finally, we're going to hit finish. But if you want to, you can have this tutorial and this getting started with Anaconda. I don't want either of them because I don't need them. But if you would like,
if you choose Anaconda, aka Jupyter Notebooks, as like the tool you want to use to code for AI stuff, make sure you watch that tutorial and that getting started, please. Okay.
to have those, keep those checked and you can get those. Let's click finish. Now let's go down and we're going to search for Anaconda, and I'll say Anaconda Navigator, and we're going to click on that and it should open up for us. So this is what you should be seeing on your screen. This is the Anaconda Navigator, and this is where that distribution of Python and R is going to be. So we have a lot of different options in here, and some of them may look familiar. We have things like Visual Studio Code, Spider, RStudio, and then right up here, we have our Jupyter Notebooks. And this is what we're going to be using throughout our tutorials. So let's go ahead and click on Launch. And this is what should kind of pop up on your screen. Now, I've been using this a lot. So I have a ton of notebooks and files in here. But if you are just now seeing this, it might be completely blank or just have some, default folders in here. But this is where we're going to open up a new Jupyter Notebook where we can write code and all the things that we're going to be learning in future tutorials. And you can use this area to save things and create folders and organize everything. If you already have some notebooks from previous projects or something, you can upload them here. But what we're going to do is go right to this new. We're going to click on the drop down and we're going to open up a Python 3 kernel. And so we're going to open this up right here. Now, right here is where we're going to be spending 99% of our time in future videos. This is where we're going to write all of our code. So right here is a cell, and this is where we can type things. So I can say print, I can do the famous hello world, and then I'll run that by clicking Shift Enter. And this is where all of our code is.
Cool. So I'm going to stop them there. There's pretty much that IDE that you can use. It's your choice to use that one. So that one's good. Like I said, if you want to train models on your local PC, you want to fine tune models, you want to do data analysis, you want to do data engineering, all that kind of stuff with not a lot of data, most likely this is the one you're going to end up using. All right, cool. Next is going to be Replit. So Replit, I'm going to show you guys, is pretty much if you want to make websites using websites that have AI inside of it, or you want to make things involving like web apps or like, if you want to make web apps and things of this nature, anything involving the internet, it's probably Replit's for you, right? If you're doing data analysis and data engineering and stuff like that, Replit might not be for you. So so how you go to replit.com and hit enter, and then you come here. I'll just type it again, replit.com. Yeah, right there. Boom, you come here. Then you're gonna you sign up, make an account, and then after that, you'll see this page right here. Then you're gonna click create app. Then you're gonna click choose template. Then you're gonna click Python, give it a name, whatever name you want to give it, public. And then keep in mind, it means other people can see this. But if you want to keep your thing private, you pay for it. But if you're a beginner, you don't gotta worry about your thing being public. I'm sure you're not making no groundbreaking technology. So create app, and then you'll see assistant. I would recommend that you close the assistant, but you can keep it open. But yeah, and now you can type in code or whatever and stuff like that. Like print. Whoa, hello there. Print. Hello. It wrote it for me. Nah. Okay, cool. And then hit run. Cool. And then it's running console. Cool. It says hello. Cool. Very simple. And that's pretty much Replit in a nutshell. I'm sure when you sign up, they have tutorials and stuff like that walking you through how to use it. Please do those walkthroughs on Replit, okay? So you understand what's going on, okay? Yeah, and that's Replit. So now I'm gonna show you Google Colab. So Google Colab is if you want to train huge models with images and video, and your PC can't handle it. If your PC has a weak GPU, like it's under the if it's under the 3000 series, um, like yeah, and the VRAM is really small. I would say anything that's less than 8 VRAM is probably pretty small. And you want to do all these big fancy models, and you want to train quick, and you want to do a lot of heavy data engineering with a lot of data. You want to do heavy data analysis with a lot of data, um, and you don't want to make an app. Right, with Google Colab, you probably can't make an app with it. You can't make a web app most likely, and you can't make a desktop app with it as well. So keep that in mind. But if it's more for like if you want to just learn and make models and fine tune models, you can make models on here and train models on there. Yes. Then Google Colab is for you. Okay, so keep that in mind. So it doesn't use your PC; it uses Google's PC to do all the fancy training and stuff on their on their PCs and GPUs. So you don't have to worry about your storage. You don't have to worry about your VRAM. You don't got to worry about all that stuff. You can just hop on Google Colab and start programming and have no issues. It's just if you want to make apps, then it's probably you're gonna run into problems from there. So yeah.
And then we will have a complete overview of it. So let's start with the first topic. What is Google Colab? Google Colab is a free online tool that lets you do coding and data-related work on the internet. It's like having a virtual notebook where you can write and run Python code without needing to install anything on your computer. With Colab, you can also get data from different places and share your work with others easily. Another cool thing is that it gives you access to powerful processors like GPUs and TPUs, which make tasks like machine learning and data science faster and more efficient. It's a great tool for learning and working on coding and data projects. All right, now let's take a look at Google Colab and do a complete overview of it. So first of all, Google Colab requires a Google account for access. To begin, visit the link. We'll type in welcome to Collaboratory. So just type in welcome to Collaboratory, as you can see. And then we click on this. And then we'll click on this, open this one, and sign in using our Google account or credentials. If you've already have a Google account, then you can just sign in with that. Okay, so now let's start with Google Colab. Type in Google Colab. Click on this. All right, so this is the window that appears when you click on that. First of all, here we have the example tab. So the example tab offers some initial examples to help you begin using Colab. For a comprehensive understanding of collaboratory features and efficient usage of Colab documents, refer to the document title.
If you are not used to using IDEs like this, I highly recommend you go through that, please, so you understand how to use Google Colab thoroughly, because they keep making new updates and stuff like that. So these videos are always behind.
Overview collaboratory features. It covers fundamental aspects and it'll get you started efficiently. So then there's the Recent tab. Okay, so that displays a collection of all the latest documents that you've been working on. Now, next is our Google Drive tab. The Google Drive tab feature allows you to import any of your previous notebooks directly from your Google Drive. Okay, then next is GitHub tab. So with the GitHub tab, you have the option to import notebooks from your own GitHub.
So pretty much, if you're working in in Jupyter Notebook and you realize like, dang, I don't have enough memory, I don't have enough storage, I don't have enough VRAM to train this model on my PC, you can take that notebook and upload it to Google Colab and finish training from there and do everything you want from there without starting from scratch essentially. Or you can copy and paste your code into Google Colab and it should work the same because it's a very similar concept how Jupyter Notebook and Google Colab operate. It just one is on your local PC and one's in the cloud where you don't have to worry about your PC storage and stuff like that.
GitHub repository or any public repository. Simply provide the GitHub URL and you can easily import notebooks from the desired public repository. Then we have the Upload tab. So the Upload feature allows you to bring in and work on your own Jupyter notebooks that you've created on your computer. You can easily upload any file from your local machine by selecting the Choose File option. So here it is, Choose File option. Next is our Create a Notebook. And as you can see, there's a notebook option. There's a cancel option. So to create a notebook, create a new notebook, you have the option to use the New Notebook button located at the bottom. By clicking on this button, a new untitled notebook will be generated. To give it a specific name, we simply click on the current type and title name. So I want to name it. So as we've clicked on, to give it a specific name, as we just said, simply click on the current type and title name on the notebook and make the desired changes. So let's say we want to make it SP1. Let's just type the name. All right. So next is our cell. Here we can see this is a cell. So in a notebook, cells serve as the fundamental building blocks encompassing everything within. There are two types of cells actually. One is code cell, as you can see, and it contains executable code and has a run button on the left side to execute its content. Put as this cell, add an as cell. Using arrow options located using my leads, we could cell warm. Clicking on this. Now it's running. Yellow. All right. Now let's try to execute it. We can run this by clicking on this. Now it's running, executing. So as you can see.
Cool. Sorry, I just wanted to skip ahead and show you guys like the important parts. Pretty much, it's like it's like Jupyter Notebook with the cell format, right? I skipped ahead because all that stuff, you'll get that when you go onto it and start using it and read their tutorials and watch their tutorials. That will explain all that stuff. He's talking about the tech stuff, all that jazz. But that's pretty much, that's Google Colab. Now the last one I'm biased towards is one of my favorite IDEs is Pycharm. Pycharm I use probably the most over the years, and Pycharm, if you want to build desktop apps, right? A desktop app is kind of like a video game file you download on your PC, or like a CD you plug into, like, you know, the CD itself has like stuff onto it. That's like a desktop app. And stuff like that. You can also make phone apps, like iPhone apps and stuff like that, using Pycharm as well. You can also make websites that use AI as well with Pycharm. Pycharm is probably the more universal one for everything, but it requires you to have a decent GPU if you're going to train your own models on here. But if you're not going to train models, it's still pretty good to use Pycharm. You probably need some decent storage for sure. Yes, so pretty much Pycharm is good for everything local. Everything's going to run. It's going to run on your PC. So if you don't care about training models or fine-tuning models, you can use Pycharm. If you're going to do a lot of prompt engineering and stuff like that, if you're going to use AI, OpenAI's API or Cloud AI's API, or you're going to use a lot of prompt engineering and stuff like that, then Pycharm is fine for you to do as well. But this is more if you want to build apps and stuff. It's also good for data cleaning and data analysis, all that stuff as well. But probably Jupyter Notebook, I feel like it's better option if you're doing just data analysis, data engineering and stuff like that. Same with Collab. So it kind of depends on you which one you want to use. Let's get started on this video.
In this video, we are going to install Python and Pycharm, and we are going to set up Pycharm. And this video is a beginner tutorial, so you don't need any prerequisites. So first of all, you should go to python.org. Then here you should click on Downloads, click on this. And now in this page, you should just scroll down. And here you can see that the Python versions has been sorted according to the release date. So we want Python 3.11.4, so I click on this. And in this page, I should scroll down. Here you can see here are the files. So because I'm on Windows and I have a 64-bit Windows, so I click on this in order to download the installation file. So here you can see this is the downloaded file. So I right click on it and click on Run as Administrator. So in this step, it is very important to check this one, add python.exe to path. So I click on this. And also I want to customize the installation. So I click on this. And once again, I press next. And in this step, this install location is very important because there is going to be a file here called interpreter, Python interpreter, which you needed later. For example, if you want to install other IDEs, such as, for example, Pycharm, you need to know the location of this install location. You need to know the location of that interpreter. So this install location is very important. So suppose that I want to install Python here. So in order to do so, I click on this and I copy this path. That's it. I go to Python install, and here I paste this location and I press install. And I should wait for the installation. And as you can see, it's creating some files and folders in this install location. So as you can see, the setup was successful. So I press close. And here in this install location, you can see we have a file called python.exe, which is the Python interpreter. If you don't see these extensions, you should go to view and check this one, file name extensions. If you check this one, you can see these extensions. So this python.exe is basically the interpreter of Python, which is an important file. And you need to know the install location of Python because of this file. So now I press Windows key on my keyboard, and you can see these files have been recently added. And you can see one of them is IDLE. And if you don't see these files, you can search for it. You can search for IDLE. And as you can see, we have installed Python 3.11. So I should click on this. So now let's create and run a simple Python file. So in order to do so, I click on.
I'm going to skip this part because you don't got to worry about that. No one codes in this thing.
File. So in order to install Pycharm, first of all, you should go to Google and search Pycharm, and you should click on this link in order to open the JetBrains website. And here you should click on download, and you can see we have two versions, the professional version and the community version. The community version is free, so we want to install this. So I click on download, and in this page you should wait, and you can see the download has been started. So now you can see this is the downloaded file. So I right click on it. And then I should click on Run as Administrator. And here I should press Next. And once again, here I should press Next. And remember that the install location of Pycharm is not that important, but the install location of Python was important. So here I click on Next. I don't want to check none of these, so I click on Next. And once again, I press Install, and I should wait for the installation. So as you can see, the setup was successful. So I check this one, run Pycharm, and I press finish. And I should wait for Pycharm. So here in this window, I don't want to import anything. So I choose this one and I press OK. And here I press allow access. And now I want to create a project. So I click on this new project. And I should choose a name for my project. So let's choose, for example, YouTube for my project. And this is basically the name of my project. And you can see this is the path of my project. And for example, later when I create Python files, you can find those Python files in this path. That's it. And now we should introduce the Python interpreter to Pycharm. And if you remember, when I was installing Python, I told you that the install location of Python is very important because the Python interpreter is in that location and we need it later. And this is the time that we need that Python interpreter. So if you remember, we installed Python in this location. So I click on this and I copy this path. And once again, I go to Pycharm. And here, because I want to add an existing interpreter, so I click on this previously configured interpreter. And I click on this add interpreter. And I should click on this add local interpreter. And because, as you can see, this is an existing interpreter, so I click on this, existing, and I click on this. And here, I should paste this. So let's delete this and paste that location. So you can see this is the location. So I click on this in order to open it. And you can see here we have a file called python.exe, which is the Python interpreter. So I click on it, I click OK, and once again I click on OK. That's it. And I don't want to create any welcome script, so I uncheck this one and I press create button. And remember that we should wait for these processes. And here, as you can see, it says Microsoft Defender configuration. I want to do all the stuff automatically, so I click on this, and I should wait for these processes. So here, first of all, let's maximize Pycharm. And now I want to create a Python file, so I click on this, and here I right-click, and I press New and New Python file. So let's name the file code01, and I press Enter. And you can see here we have code01 below the YouTube project that we have created. And you can see this is the path of our project. That's it. But as you can see, first of all, I don't like the dark theme. And also, I don't like this font. I want to make
I love dark theme. It's dope. Ignore him.
it bigger. So in order to do so, in section there we have changed it. I go to, for example, theme, and also we have changed the font size. And I want to minimize this panel and start coding. And now let's paste a sample code, and this code is for drawing a star. So in order to run this, I should right click in the middle of this page, and I should click on this, run code01. Code01 is the name of my code. You can see its name is code01, and I want to run code01. So I click on this, and you can see it's drawing the star. That's it. And as you can see, this is the
Cool. So that's pretty much the introduction to the 4 different ways that you can code Python to make AI on your PC or in the internet, essentially. So pick one that fits what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to learn, I say Pycharm or Jupyter Notebook is your best one to just start learning from. But having all 4 is also not a bad idea, just because depending on the tutorial you find on YouTube, they might use one of the 4. So at least you have one of the 4 ready to go. And yeah, like that's not a bad idea if you're trying to learn. So yes, but all right, cool. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to learn AI one-on-one with me, learn anything about AI, how to make money with it, how to do automations, how to fine-tune models, how to just integrate it, what tools are the best tools to use in business space, anything involving you. If you want me to teach a group, teach a department at your company, if you want me to teach your kids, stuff like that, come to me. My email's below. I will gladly teach you how AI works in this crazy fast space. But yeah, the description's below for my email. Reach out to me. But appreciate you guys so much for listening and tuning in. Peace.